Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Lisa. I'm spiritual coach Lisa Hopp. It is Sunday, January 16th, 2022. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope if you are, wherever you are, I hope you're safe and warm and dry over these next couple of days, especially here on the East Coast. I am hunkered down, ready to ride out a little bit of snow, a lot of wind, and a lot of rain. And I hope you are as well. I hope that you're off tomorrow for the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. But if you're not, again, please stay safe. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new to this podcast, please be sure to check out my website at lisahopp.com, which is about to be updated with new virtual meditations, upcoming events. And if you are an intrepid listener, thank you so much. And yes, special shout out to Judy, my intrepid listener, who this week sent me a wonderfully generous gift. And I'm just so grateful. I'm grateful for you, Judy. Thank you so much. And thank you to all of those who listen every week, support me, share when the podcast is loaded. It just makes me smile. I'm so very grateful. But just thank you. Just thank you. I wish we would figure out how to say thank you in another way, right? Or perhaps an even deeper, more powerful word for gratitude. But in all honesty, gratitude is a high vibration. So maybe there shouldn't be a stronger, more powerful word. But I feel sometimes I'm just at a loss for words, for the gratitude that I feel, for blessings that I see. And so I feel like I say the same thing every week, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. And also, again, for those of you new, please, and those of you who listen every week, please be sure to go to my Facebook business page, Spirit Teacher Lisa Hopp. You're always welcome to email me at serendityharper@verizon.net with podcast suggestions, and because I will listen. And if it is a topic that I feel I can speak about, or that aligns with what I try to speak about, even if I don't know a lot, I'm going to go and check it out because I love learning. When I should have been sleeping last night, I was learning about history. I love history. I love spiritual topics. If you want to know how to trap me for hours, bring up a spiritual topic. I'll talk about it all day long, all night long. I guess it's the seed for this podcast. It's just my favorite thing to do. It's never bothering me to talk about spiritual topics. Even if the person is asking about something that I don't necessarily agree with, I still don't mind at all. Well, good listeners, we are in the second week of January, and I don't know about you, but I keep getting confused and thinking we're in the second week of February. Does it not seem like we've been at this for a couple months already for some of us? It's been quite a challenge this new year. So my topic today, and I actually did sit on this for a while this morning, not knowing if I should talk about gratitude again, or should I talk about peace, or should I talk about vision boards. It was rambling all around in my head, but it came down to, what do we have to do right now to attain some peace within us? Because we're being inundated. We are being inundated by a rise in lies that people believe, anti-Semitism, violence, just plain old negativity, stresses. And then we have our everyday lives that are impacted by weather and having to work at our jobs, and pay our bills. And so we have our normal way of life. And then we have this extra stuff being thrown at us. And what to believe, right? But I'll tell you, if you want to know what to believe, Don't go with what you want to believe. Go with what your intuition tells you to believe. And also educate yourself. And do not educate yourself, please, on YouTube. My podcast is safe. But stay away from videos from, quote, experts telling you what you should believe. Stay away from propaganda. Now, some people have a thought as to what is propaganda for them. I hesitate to say that because I don't want to alienate anyone. But I can tell you honestly that there are networks that are pure propaganda. One was just pulled from DirecTV, OAN. Thank you, DirecTV. But I would tell you that, and I've said this on my podcast before, Fox News is not news. And so you have to be very discerning at these times. And okay, sometimes news organizations sometimes they plain out mess up, where they report one thing and it turns out to be another. But when you're day to day trying to destroy and hurt the fabric of a country for money and power, well, that's when it has to be stopped. It's going to come to a head, and that which is harmful will be defeated in some way. And so probably through money, because I definitely wouldn't say violence. I would never advocate that in any way. So before you go to believe something, please seek out that it is the truth and it is not just something repetitively fed to you over and over again, like programming is, in order for you to believe it is truth. All right? Because they're very good at what they do. Very, very good. And they go after the vulnerable. And it's very easy for some of us to become angry at that. But in order to live in this world happy, healthy, wealthy, even if you want to be, and most at least want to have some semblance of freedom in wealth, then you have to figure out how to attain peace. But I will say to you that attaining peace doesn't mean that you bring yourself into a state of apathy. You should not just say, I'm not going to pay attention, and then just kind of not contribute to society or become involved. Tomorrow is a day of service because of a man who tried to bring civil rights and justice to this country. And at the end of a weekend where a new governor signed a bill to stop students learning about racial history and called it by a name that wasn't even happening, but it was all about racism. And here we are, Martin Luther King's weekend, still contending, still dealing with racism and bigotry. And yes, some of my listeners, you've been a part of that, as I've been a part of that in my life. Whether it be those that are our family or our own personal perceptions and beliefs. Racism is not to be racist is not a truth. Heaven, God, sees us all as equal and does not love us by the color of our skin. If you were to step back and say it, the color of skin, and that's how you're judging someone, it sounds quite ridiculous, doesn't it? It sounds quite ridiculous, but it happens every day, and violence has happened because of it. People have been killed because of it, harmed so much. And so it's just sad. It's just a sad element of our human egos. and what we allow ourselves to be affected by. Some are just raised in that element, and so they don't know anything else unless they were to listen to their inner selves. Because I think all children know better. Racists are taught, not born. They are raised, not born. And so we have to take care of our children and make sure that they're not raised to believe mistruths. Because it's harmful. It's harmful not only to the fabric, to our country, but it's harmful to those who are victims of it, and it's harmful to anyone who may feel that way inside. It makes you hateful. It makes you have anger and energy that can only harm your organs and your blood and your cells. And so it is destructive by its very nature. Racism is indeed a cancer. And so there's a lot of sadness going on right now in this country and in this world, because we're not the only country here in the States that are going through our moments. It's all over the place. It is all over the globe. It is part of the healing that's taking place for higher energy to land on this earth. It can't land if it's landing on all of these emotions, all of this strife. It has to clear out first. That's simply what's going on. And it's really made it an upside down world, hasn't it? It's amazing to me the amount of people that, maybe have always felt a certain way, but people that used to have wisdom and clarity and now are really feeling the opposite and speaking the opposite. It's like we're literally in an upside down world at times. But in order to attain peace, you have to put that bubble around you at times. You have to seek help and let it go. So let's go there. Let's go there to how to attain peace. So what I just said to you is really the first thing to do. When it all starts to get to you, step back from it. Turn off the news. Get off YouTube. Get off Facebook. And please, this cracks me up. I bet you it cracks you up too. You don't have to announce that you're stepping back from Facebook. I haven't met one person that announced they were stepping back from Facebook and actually did it. Okay, you're going. Bye-bye. Maybe I'm in an ornery mood today, but that cracks me up. Just step back. Just take a day off. Just take 2 hours off if you need to. Unfollow people. I've unfollowed so many people. Some people I have unfriended because I saw that they friended me. Well, not out of friendship. But honestly though, most of the time I will unfollow. If you are a client who is personally attached to me at my personal page on Facebook, I'm not paying attention. I'm not, because in my work, I have to have distance, clarity. I can't go off of your Facebook because, don't we all? I know personally I put on there what I want you to know. What I don't want you to know is not on there. And sometimes, I'm not saying it's one of my clients, but sometimes people, so don't think I'm talking about you is what I'm saying if you're listening, but sometimes people will out and out put on what's not really happening. They will put on a happiness where there's an unhappiness. And so, that's just very confusing. So I stay away from all that. I scoot right by you. But don't take it personally. It's because of my work. I have to keep it unfiltered and genuine and clear. So, if you are one that is negatively impacted by YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, sometimes I have to take a break from Twitter, but I love it as a source of news, though, because it's easier for me emotionally to read something than it is to view it with all its colors and emotions from an anchor or from a correspondent or something. So I will go on there and see, like, what's happening. And I found out about Betty White dying, the actress, through Twitter because fast. There it is, right on there. And so I do like that, but sometimes I will have to, I don't mind at all stepping back. So it is literally for your mental health. And at this time, there are many struggling with mental health, and that is nothing to laugh at or nothing to joke about. It's happening. And what do you do about it? Because it's such a human thing to say to someone, you're struggling with this right now. Well, unfortunately, the person struggling with it, a lot of people don't believe it. They're like, no, I'm fine. It's you. So what do you do with that? And then you don't want to offend anyone that may love that person. You don't want to speak up and then have someone that you care about tell you about it, So it's about attaining that peace. Like, what do you do? Well, I'm getting off of my steps. So let me, at least at this moment, get very organized. Stepping back from social media is really the first step in attaining peace. You do it until you feel that you're in a place of peace, that you're not vulnerable, that you're strong, and that you can go in and look at it with a degree of distance and not a degree of emotion. If you are triggered when you read something, it's time to step back, unless it fires you up into action. But if it just makes you angry and you sit on it, then you've got to step back. And the second thing is, I went there just now, but I decided to become organized. You have to choose when you speak up. You really have to choose your battles, don't you? But there's a difference between having apathy and saying, I'm not going to, I have a family member that says, I don't talk politics, actually more than one. And that is fine to not want to talk politics unless it means that you're not engaged. We all have to be engaged. I also avoid the topic, by the way, unless I'm asked, to be honest, unless I'm asked. And my clients will ask me, what's happening in this country coming up intuitively? What is happening in this world? What does your intuition say? Then, yes, I will answer. But I generally avoid the topic because it's so divisive. It does not bring peace. However, do I engage? Do I support issues? Yes. Do I give to charity? Yes. Do I vote? Absolutely, so important. I very rarely miss voting. I don't think I've missed voting in a very long time. And so it's important to be engaged, to be a full participant in the world around you. But there's a difference between being a full participant and letting it destroy your health and your peace of mind and your well-being. You have to know your audience. Right? You have to know, is it worth it? And I do that, by the way, not only with particular topics, but I also do it with my relationships. Is it worth going there? Is it worth speaking? This week, I almost wanted to post on my own personal Facebook page, I have thoughts and I have words to say. But I'm not going to think them and I'm not going to say them because it's easy. It's so easy to pop on and to speak my mind about things. But is it worth it? Is it worth the comments that will follow? And I've seen my friends, I've seen my peers more. My peers, they have decided to comment. And I've seen friends decide to comment, and then they have all this negative comments following what they say, what their posts are. And I think to myself, is that what you really wanted? Do you really want to just do it and grow it and build it, And what good is that doing? What is that? Do you feel better now? No, you don't. You probably feel worse. And it all started with a post. So my post, it would be so easy to speak about ongoing events. And I would do it out of education. I would do it because I thought there was a higher purpose. But is that going to generate peace? Is that going to generate harmony? Is that adding to what I want to bring to this earth? If my answer to that is no, then I don't do it. But am I engaging still? Oh, yes. I'm not over here minding my own business in my own little bubble, not serving the world. I am doing it. But it always has to come from a place of peace, from a place of knowing, is this the moment? Now, sometimes, yes, it's about those close to you. Is it worth saying something right now, or is it not? Sometimes I'm like, nope, going to keep my trap shut. And then other times, yes, it's like it's time. It depends. I take it in a moment. I recently had an experience in the last couple of months where I spoke up, and I actually regretted it. But it was a truth. What I said, it was from a real place. It wasn't my imagination or anything, but I saw that it didn't do the intended purpose, and that's okay. It's okay to think, well, it's okay if you decide to have an intervention with someone you love and it doesn't turn out the way that you hoped it to be. It doesn't mean it wasn't the right thing to do. It just means sometimes the outcome is not what we're hoping for. No, but you should always do what you feel is best. And your mind and your gut know what is best, all right? If you're trying to stir up trouble, well, you're going to get what you ask for. If you're trying to help someone and it comes from a good place, then you may not get the outcome that you wanted, but you've still generated good karma. And so that's what I mean. Go towards the peace. Is it worth it to tell someone they've hurt you? Or should you just work on your wounds? Step back, take care of them, take care of yourself, and then find another way to take it on at another time. The most pain caused in this world is through the use of words. Words. And you have to know who's willing to receive the words, who understands you, who unconditionally loves you before you use words. Some people, a lot of people who are harmful with their words, don't know the impact of their words. So I often forgive them because they don't get it. They just don't get it. And so how can you hold that against them if they don't get it? All you can do is send them good, positive vibes, and privately, anonymously. And I mean through your being, through your energy, you send it to them. Some people call that prayer. Send them prayers. Send them hope. Send them love. Send them peace. Send them tranquility. Send them health. Whatever you want to send them, you can do it without telling them you're doing it. Or confronting them anyway. No, it just makes them put up their shield. It just makes them go back to a time when they felt they had to defend themselves, to a pain that they still have within that's not healed, and they lash out at you. And it has nothing to do with you, but you're the new person who's getting it, or the current person. And so, know what you're doing. Choose your words wisely. Choose your moments of speaking up wisely. Let it go. Let it go. Third, let it go. Forgive. try to forget. Now, I'm a Cancer energy born in June. I wear my huge heart, oversized heart, on my sleeve. Oh, yes, I'm a feeler. I am such a feeler. So when I say let it go, I had to work on that for all of my life. All of my life. And I still have to work on it today. I think most days I have to say let it go. Just let it go. It's all right. They don't mean it. It's the way it is. You can't do anything about it. Let it go. Love. Every time I ask heaven for an answer as to how to handle something, a situation, a person, I always get the answer, love. Because love heals all. And I'll tell you, my human self always says, like a little brat, I know, but why? Why can't it just be fixed? Why can't they just be better, or talk differently, or understand, or not do that, But it comes down to when you feel love. And love isn't, and I mean not in a phony way, I mean in a genuine way. When you feel compassion for another, that's love. When you try to be understanding, that's love. When you try to hear another story and understand it, that's love. But when you just send them thoughts and prayers, that's love. However, that's not all that we're often called to do. And sometimes when all we do is thoughts and prayers, well, that's not enough. But it's always a starting point in your personal relationship area. In larger issues, national issues, global issues, thoughts and prayers, and then action is required. That's what I'm talking about. But in your interpersonal relationships, love, thoughts, prayers, higher vibration. I may not be aligned with you. We may not be able to talk right now, to get along, but I'm sending you this unconditional love. I want it to turn out better for both of us. I want both of us to have upgrades in our lives. I want the answers to come for both of us. That's what I'm talking about. That's what to do. And then you let it go. You let go of the sharpness that came at you. You let go of the anger that came at you that has nothing to do with you 99.9% of the time. I mean, if you asked for it, that's different, right? If you did use harsh words with someone and they come at you and it hurts you, well, that's a little karmic. But what I'm talking about is moments when you're trying your darndest and then someone lashes out at you. You're just trying your best and someone's there and you can't seem to do anything right, or you hit their defenses. When you hit their defenses aren't there because of you most of the time. They're there because of someone who harmed them before you were even in their lives. And you get the brunt of it. And that's all right, as long as the energy between you most of the time is love. It is all right to question too. If you have, you should question around you. If you have the best relationships, family, friends, so much weight put on blood. If it's harmful to you, you gotta have distance from it. No matter how much you even love them, there's gotta be distance, because only you can take care of you. You have angels, you have departed loved ones, you have spirit guides, but I bet you also have people that you know are good for you. Get around them and get less around the people who are not good for you. And also clear up misunderstandings as much as you can, but sometimes people just have different perceptions. When I speak my mind about something, I then let it go. I let it go. I've had people in my past have the perception I must be holding on to something. No, that is maybe the way it is with people, but I let things go nowadays pretty much within a couple of days, if not hours, if not immediately. I'm working on immediately, by the way, because, well, it's an upgrade. So it helps immediately if you can let it go. It's like drop or not even feel it at all. Not even go there. That'd be the ultimate upgrade. Yes, Intentions 2022. But I am incredibly proud of myself that the Cancer energy that I am, that would hold on to something for years. Jeez, what a teacher did to me in high school kind of stuff. What happened to me now at 15 or 6. No. If you have a disagreement with me, I'm dropping it by probably the next morning. I might hold on to it that day as an ouch, but I'm dropping it. Sometimes I can drop it quite quickly. It depends on it. It depends on what comes at me, to be fair and honest. If it's really harmful, really hurtful, it's going to take me hours. But sometimes it's just, okay, they're having a bad day. That's all. Let it go. Done. It's really that quick. People are human. We're all human. I had a couple of moments this week where I wasn't my highest self. I wasn't at all rude or nasty, but I wasn't thoughtful like I wanted to be. And I immediately corrected it within the moment because I saw it and I went, oh no, that's not perfection me. That's not perfect me. So I corrected it right then. And so you do the best you can do. But I'll tell you that if you do the best you can do, you will attain peace. And how do you know you've attained peace? You feel peaceful, right? You feel light as a feather. You feel like you're floating above the world a bit. You feel like all is good. You even feel that you are abundant. You're prosperous. You're healthy. It's not faked either, because some people, as I said, avoid conflict in order to try to attain peace, but they're really faking it. They're feeling all the disharmony. They're just keeping it stored within. But when you keep it stored within, it's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt your health, your physical body, your mental health, your emotional health. So don't do that. It's got to be a peace that is genuine. That is attained through, I've let go. I've let go. I've forgiven. I have freed myself. I have freed myself. This is what I'm talking about. And it has to be a priority. We often turn to others to make us happy, to give us peace. They're human. It's not their job. And most of the time, they're not going to do it. Unless you've been holding on to something because of a perception, then you talk to them and you find out it wasn't what you thought. Well, then, yeah, that would be helpful in attaining peace. But most of the time, the person has no clue what they've done, has no will, does not have a free will to help you attain peace. Even if they're a wonderful and great person, they're just living their own lives and think you should handle it yourself. And they're right. It's up to you to handle it yourself and step back. If you need to get away for a day, if you need to give yourself a night in a hotel room just to get away for peace, that is the thing to do. That is the way to do it. And something wonderful happened within the last couple of weeks, which was such a reminder of what I've said before, because I have talked on my podcast before about the importance of saying yes when you want to say yes and no when you want to say no. And I witnessed someone just bluntly say no. And no apologies, no. Now, when I say no, I still go through, my Cancer energy still goes through the it's right for me, but I hope they don't hate me feeling. But sometimes I will still stick with it. So when I choose to do something, I become at peace with it. I own it. I own my decisions. But the bluntness of, no, I was like, wow, that person's my hero. That's really how we're supposed to be. That's really how we're supposed to be. No. Yes. What brings you peace? Then when a person says, why? Just say, I'm not feeling it. I don't like it. It doesn't suit me. It's nothing personal. If you need to add, I still love you, you add it. Peace is, with gratitude, powerful. If you attain peace on this earth, you are a rock star. I mean, if you can do it 24 hours, you're an ascended spiritual master. If you can be grateful in every moment, you're going to manifest everything you want in your life. You mix up peace with gratitude, and oh my goodness, you're going to be in a castle on a hill. Symbolically, but yeah, also physically possible, if that's what you want. And so it is the way to attain all that you would ask for in harmony, in health, in peace, in happiness, in joy. It is the way to go. And people will say to you, and some of them good people, you're being selfish. Here's what they're saying. I'm translating. I want to do that and I can't. So I'm going to tell you you're doing something awful because I don't want you to do it because it's going to make me feel worse about myself. So you can't listen to people who would tell you that it's selfish, including your own thoughts, because your thoughts are about selfishness or thoughts that someone else gave to you, whether it be family or teacher or society or whatever gave it to you, it was someone else, because your soul, your spirit, your subconscious mind knows better. It is not selfish. It is filled with self in the way it should be. Go for your peace this week. You have to do it, because if you don't do it, oh my goodness, while 2022 is getting better for all of us, it's not going to be like 2020 or 2021. In some parts it will seem like it's more awful, but there is a divinity at work here. And in order for you to be able to ride this ride, you got to go towards the peace. If you don't, well, you might be hitting the wine more, or you might feel that you're not stable health-wise, mentally, emotionally, or physically. You definitely won't be happy this year. So you have to go towards the peace. You have to go towards the happiness. You have to go towards the self-love. It is the first and foremost way to handle it. And then inspired action comes after. All right? You ready? I so hope so. Thank you so much for joining me today. And yes, it was my intention to load this earlier, but you have to comprise what you're saying. And this girlfriend has to have breakfast first, all right? So forgive me if it's late in loading, but it will be in the morning. I want to send out love to all of you. This podcast is not meant to replace treatment from a mental, a licensed or certified mental health or medical professional, but it is meant to give you truth, to inspire you, to give you keys, to help you to attain your ideal life. It is a tool. It is a tool each week to navigate this life. But always, yes, if you need more help, please get it, because you're worth it, because you deserve it, because life, yes, while we create our lives, it sometimes can be hard. It's how we learn our lessons. It's not what we should expect, but it's how we learn our lessons. So as you go and navigate this world of yours, know it is strong to ask for help. It is loving to ask for help. Always do it. Another reminder, if you're hearing this through YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share if you feel it will serve. And if you are on Facebook and listening to it, please share it if you will, if you feel it will serve. Only if you feel it will serve. I would appreciate it so much. And again, thank you for joining me, lisahop.com. Go to that website. It will be updated soon with all the latest. And other things are coming. I've been trying to catch up on work that I was inundated with at the end of the year. And I had my own times I had to rest rather than work. So I'm just about there. And then I will be back in the action of things. I just have a quality within me that says that my work has to come first, and that was embedded into me. And I don't mind it. I don't mind having that priority. Perhaps I should find more balance with projects and getting work done, but it's currently who I am, so I accept it lovingly. Thank you so much again, and have a very blessed Sunday and a very blessed week.